Hi, this is my second date with the 2017 MINI Countryman. However, this is no ordinary Countryman, but a Cooper SE, or a PHEV, plug-in hybrid electric vehicle. You know, the weird one.
In its history, MINI did some real-life tests of an electric hatch on the verge of the first and second decade of the 21st century. Findings from these tests were used to make BMW i3. However, this is MINI's first serious production model with an alternative drivetrain.
Why Countryman? MINI claims the Countryman is a very popular model and therefore suitable to implement new technology. The hybrid drivetrain also gives us all-wheel drive, so it's better for an all-wheel drive car like a Countryman. Also, between the lines, MINI suggests that with increasingly strict emissions regulations, there is no turning back from EVs.
You can distinguish a hybrid Countryman by yellow S badges instead of red ones. There are also special electric badges on front fenders with a charging socket underneath the left one. There is also some yellow trim on the inside.
The 1.5-liter three-cylinder engine in the front powers the front wheels, and an electric motor in the back powers, you've guessed it, the rear wheels. Depending on the mode, MINI, Cooper, SE, Countryman, all four, yes, I know, it's a mouthful, can drive with speeds of up to 125 km per hour in electric mode. Sounds familiar? We've seen a hybrid all-wheel drive drivetrain with a 1.5-liter engine in BMW i8, but over there, the electric motor powers the front wheels.
Countryman's hybrid drivetrain is good for 224 horsepower, which makes it significantly more powerful than Cooper S and only slightly less powerful than a John Cooper Works Countryman. At €36,500, hybrid Countryman slots between the regular Cooper S All4 and JCW. Batteries, which live in the back of the car, add over 100 kilograms and take away 90 liters of boot space. Despite extra weight, Cooper SE accelerates from 0 to 100 km per hour in less than 7 seconds, not much slower than a JCW. But does a 1700 plus kilogram car still handle like a MINI?
Okay, so this does it handle like a MINI, like a go-kart business? It's a cliche, and I know, MINI programmed us journalists to tell you that the MINI drives like a go-kart. No, it doesn't. If it did, the ride would be horrible, it would be loud and all that. MINI has matured, it's grown up, literally and as a figure of speech, over the years, and now it's a very comfortable, albeit very responsive car to drive. So, the steering is quick, obviously. The suspension, unlike in the early models, it's got good damping. Most of the time, I can't feel that I'm actually driving a PHEV. I know there is over 100 kilograms extra, but I don't feel it in the bends. Perhaps it's because the center of gravity is quite low. However, when I open the throttle, which I can't do at the moment because there is a Toyota Yaris in front of me. However, when I open the throttle, I feel the acceleration is kind of restricted. I can hear the engine noise, and unfortunately the exhaust doesn't pop and crackle like on a Cooper S in sports mode, but something is holding the car back. I don't know what it is. Perhaps it's just the way that the power and torque are delivered with the electric drivetrain, or hybrid drivetrain really. This is a 6-speed automatic rather than an 8-speed automatic like in a regular Cooper S or a JCW. Something is holding it back. On paper it looks almost as quick as a JCW. I don't know. However, for normal driving around town, it's fun, it's agile, it's nippy, and it's theoretically efficient. Theoretically. Of course, driving it like you stole it means you'll never get the claimed 42 kilometers electric range or combined fuel economy figure of 2.1 liters per 100 kilometers. This is rather unlikely to happen. However, at the moment, we are using, gosh, I have to click through the menu God knows how many times. We're using about 4 liters per 100 kilometers. This is because we've run out of the battery. I was recording the Polish version of this review just 5-10 minutes ago, and we had 3.3 liters per 100 kilometers. So as you can see, when the battery runs out, fuel consumption starts rising dramatically. However, if you're going to drive this car around town and you're going to charge it a couple of times a day, you might achieve the 2.1 liters claimed fuel economy figure. But MINI can help you optimize your fuel economy by automatically selecting driving modes to the route you have set in your sat-nav.
You can choose between a fully automatic, fully electric and battery save mode. The latter can also charge the battery up to 90%. Use this mode on the motorway to be able to drive in electric mode around town later on. Charging from a regular 240-volt socket takes 3 hours and 15 minutes. A wall box cuts charging time down to 2.5 hours. All this is very sensible, but what about the future?
First thing I'd like to ask you is the origin of PHEV and EV technology for MINI. Is it something that BMW cooperated with Toyota, or is it your own development?
No, it's our own development. We share a common architecture together with our BMW colleagues within the BMW group. And we share, for example, the same drivetrain for the MINI Countryman plug-in hybrid as also the 2 Series Active Tourer.
What is the direction that PHEV is taking? Is it only a temporary technology, or is it something for the next decade or so?
We see it as a step in between of manufacturing battery electric vehicles, which are solely propelled on electric energy. And the plug-in hybrid today combines the best of both worlds.
What are the assumptions when it comes to PHEV? Range versus costs versus reality. In some countries you get a lot of incentive on buying an electric or a PHEV, but people, for example in the Netherlands, they buy PHEV and drive it in petrol only.
The incentives from the government side are very diverse across the world. Some do make incentives, some don't. But we see the plug-in hybrid, especially for people who want to drive local emission free, but also have the liberty to go for longer distances when the net of charging stations is not so dense. This will develop in the future, hopefully, and then people will more switch to BEVs, battery electric vehicles.
Are there any new technologies being developed that will make charging easier, more convenient, especially on the way?
You're talking about
induction charging.
Induction charging. This is more for the public areas where cars independent of brand can charge. And I'm sure this technology will be available someday. But for the current technology with the plug-in hybrid, there's nothing more convenient than a plug that you have in your household socket.
And last but not least, when will we see an electric MINI?
There's something announced for 2019.
Okay, looking forward to it. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I like the hybrid MINI, but I can't wait to see the fully electric version, which will hit the showrooms in 2019.
And how do you like the hybrid MINI Countryman? Or maybe you think MINI should have chosen a different model for its hybrid technology? Let me know in the comments section below. Subscribe, rate and share. New episodes every Friday, unless... yes. So press that bell icon to be up to date with all the stuff I publish. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.